Hello and welcome back to Smerkanisch.com. This is the editor's report, and I'm your editor, Gili. Welcome back to another very busy week, even though we are all indoors, hopefully social distancing and protecting ourselves from COVID-19, from the coronavirus. Hope you all are safe. Hope you all are healthy and feeling good. I know it could be mentally draining to stay at home for a really long period of time, but hang in there. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel. I just want to thank everybody who contributed essays and everybody who's been reaching out from all over the world. I rarely mention this, but we really do have submissions from everywhere in the world, almost every continent. And we are very grateful for all of your contributions, all of your support, and we love working with you. We love that you submit such great critical thinking pieces. So let's get right into it. I'm going to highlight the best original content in the critical thinking section of Smerkanisch.com for this past week. First up, we have Glenravny with a piece called What's the Deal with the Bernie Bros? I know a lot of people forgot about the election, but there still is a Democratic primary going on, and in this piece he discusses basically Bernie's main supporters and how it's kind of like a Bernie or bust situation with them. So check that piece out. Eric Schnurr has a piece called Where We're Headed. It's a really great piece, taking a big look, a big picture at globalization in the coronavirus pandemic and what the future holds on all the different aspects of life that coronavirus affects, which, as we unfortunately know, affects almost every part of our lives, as we've felt in the past few weeks. Then we have Dr. Emmanuel Fruman with Why We Are Personally Affected by the Coronavirus, where he discusses how the elite class, how the richest class of people of the world are the most affected by coronavirus because they're the ones who can afford travel, how they are the ones who spread it around the world, and how it is ultimately taking up so much media coverage and taking up so much time and effort from everybody and kind of stopping life as we knew it, and because it's affecting rich people, the people who regularly are affected by other societal problems. So that's really interesting. Check that out. John Coughlin wrote a really great piece called It's Not a Matter of If, But When, where he discusses the legal documents that need to be prepared in emergencies like the coronavirus COVID-19 emergency, and walks you through a lot of legal documents that are really necessary to be thinking about, even though they might be a little saddening, but they are really important for the future, your future, and if you have children, your children's future, and if you have grandkids, and on and on. Then we have Stephen Biandolio. I don't know if I ever say that right, but we appreciate you so much, Stephen. He wrote a piece called 1793, The Anatomy of Crisis Leadership, where he talks about the yellow fever, previous pandemic in the 17th century, and how it was handled in Philadelphia and how it was handled in the United States as a whole, as a very, very early country at the time. Then we have Tony Kilian with COVID-19 Certainty versus Uncertainty, where he just basically says, give me all the facts, the media needs to do better, politicize the crisis less, and focus on the facts so people know what's going on. Then we have Nicolas Christos with 2020 primary results suggest Hillary's weakness, Biden's strength against Trump, where he discusses and really looks at the details, the numbers in each state, how Biden compares to the 2016 election or primary to Hillary Clinton, and how he's doing significantly better than Hillary was doing at the time. So check that out. Then we have Rich Zacrowley, who wrote How Fox News May Have Made the Pandemic Worse Than It Might Have Been, where he discusses how basically misinformation is being spread on TV and how dangerous it could potentially be to Fox viewers who were listening to that misinformation. Especially, the statistics show us that Fox viewers are of the older generation, the more at-risk population, so hopefully they are updated on all the right information. Alan CBraun talks about what leadership looks like, discussing Governor Andrew Cuomo and his great leadership skills for the state of New York during this time and how he's risen as a Democratic superstar recently. Then lastly, Chuck Gregory wrote A Boomer's View of the Coronavirus Quarantine, where he discusses how the older generation, the more at-risk generation, is coping with the loss of a lot of mundane activities and how they're coping with kind of switching roles with their children, having their children start to take care of them. Michael Smerkanisch wrote a piece called A Ray of Light in a Darkening Sky. It's his opening commentary to last week's CNN show, so check that out. And last but not least, I wrote a piece last week as well called Globalization Spread COVID-19, but only globalization can end it. Basically discussing how transportation and how modern technology enabled us to spread this virus very, very quickly around the world, but how cooperation, leadership, and scientific cooperation and political leadership specifically will get us out of this mess quicker than anything else can. So check all those great pieces out. Keep contributing. Keep tuning in to POTUS on SiriusXM channel 124. By the way, it is free now. SiriusXM is free to everyone till May 15th, and we're so excited to have all these new listeners with us. And of course, CNN on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Smerkanisch. Don't forget to tune in to all the news and to sometimes take a break as well, because it's not too good to listen to all the news all the time. But hopefully you're all healthy, you're all safe. Keep contributing and send your essays to editor@smerkanisch.com. I would love to work with you. Have a great weekend.